Okay, you guys, I just wanted to go over what the Fahrenheit 451 project looks like and what my expectations are for this project. I know this is weird considering that you are not going to be in school, but this is the project that you're going to work on. Okay, so I wanted to go over it so that way if you had questions, maybe hearing me talk about it instead of just reading the handout would help. So I'm just going to go through the document with you if I can. There we go. Okay, so you're going to choose one of these. I'm not going to read this, you can read it yourself, but you're going to choose one of the following options. And it's a combination of, it could be artwork, it could be written, or it might be both. So there's a combination. Here, you would choose the one that you think fits you the best. So a couple of things to pay attention to here are that you can do this artwork. If you choose an artwork project, you can do it electronically, so like via Google Slides, or if you do any of those like editing. I don't know, some of you are really good with graphic design things that I have no idea about. So if you do any of that kind of stuff, you can do that. Or you can, if you're an artist, if you paint or draw, you can do that and then take really good photos of it and upload those photos to me. That's an option as well. Okay. Make sure that if you're using pages from the book that you cite evidence, it's going to be 40 points total. And then this is an important part. You can work by yourself or with one partner. So it could be just you, or you can choose one other person to work with. That person can be from second period, fourth period, it doesn't matter. You choose whoever you want, but make sure you let me know today if you're working with a partner. Okay. So just to go through the options with you, I've done this project. I took some things out that other people could choose from in the past because we're not in class, but I've done this multiple times, so I've seen what works and what doesn't. The first one is option A. Okay, so you can choose between Montag, Mildred, or Beatty. And they seem to all three have kind of split personalities. There's two sides to these people. Um, and so you need to create an image that shows both sides visually. So you can do that, like what most people do is they draw like a silhouette or they draw a person and then they split it down the middle, and one side is one side of that personality and one side is the other side of that personality. So you can do that through images, you can do that through words, you can do that through quotes from the book. It says at least one quote needs to be on each side. So like in the past, people have drawn like the silhouette of the person. They've put some words and images in that silhouette, and then they put the quote around the character. That's up to you. However you choose to do it, but you're going to draw a visual image of both, or create on the computer is drawn, of both sides of that character's personality. Okay, so that's the first choice. Notice that it does say it's not just the illustration. When you're done, you have to write a one-page paper that explains both sides of the personality. So if you're saying that guy is introspective and deep and whatever, and then he's also like hard and fierce, then you need to explain how you know both sides of that personality, if that makes sense. Okay, and one page double spaced is not a lot of writing. Um, a lot of people have done really awesome projects with this A. If you're artistic, it's a really cool one. Okay, B is to draw or to create, sorry, a diary for a minor character. Notice it says minor, so I don't want Montag's diary. I want Clarice, or I want Mildred, or I want Faber, or one of the hobos at the end of the book, um, or one of the firemen maybe. I don't want I don't want Guy Montag's journal. Okay, I want a minor character, and it says it should be 10 entries, 1,000 words minimum, meaning each entry should be about 100 words. It should be realistic, give you insight into the character, but you're not going to just tell me what I already know. Don't just say, today I shot the mechanical hound with fire, right? Give me some information that you think you could infer about those characters. So you might have an entire entry about something that didn't really happen. Like if you're doing Clarice, you could have an entire entry about a walk that she went on and the things she observed on that walk that really isn't in the book, but we know that that's true to her character. So this is creative writing for those of you who like creative writing. Okay, you can throw in some friends, you can throw in some of their favorite things, things that they miss, memories that they have, as long as it seems like it would fit with that character and it's true to the character. Um, and that can just, because of the fact that this is electronic, you can just do this on Google Slides or Google Doc. It's up to you. Okay. C is a replica or diorama from an important scene in the book. Now, I almost took this one out because a lot of people do 3D um, objects when it comes to this, but you might be really good at this, like these art sites that you can make like bedroom scenes or whatever. Or you can make, I don't know, the firehouse or guy's room or guy's house or I don't know. So if you're good at that, or if you want to draw something and take pictures, or if you do want to create something and take pictures, I'm gonna allow that. So this is just to create a scene from the book using details from the story. And then again, just like that first one, once you've created the object, oops, you need to write a one-page paper explaining, and then this one goes a little bit deeper, why you chose this scene and how it relates to a theme. So I gave you some theme options: technology, censorship, relationship, quest for knowledge, fear. So for example, if you create um, the parlor walls in Mildred's house, how does that show the theme of technology or the theme of their relationship issues, etc.? Okay, so you have to write a paper explaining how it connects to a theme. Okay. The next one is to create a collage. Now, I will say this is one that people choose the most, and honestly, it's the one that ends up being the worst grades most of the time. That is not always true. That is not me telling you not to choose it. That's just me telling you to be careful when you choose it, especially because you'll probably be doing this electronically. Collages can be really generic, where people Google a couple images of characters, put them on a Google slide, throw a couple words on there, and call it a day. Um, be more creative than that. Okay, try to put a creative spin on it. If you choose the collage, how can you do this in a way that's just not a couple of images copy and pasted onto a Google slide? So I want you to think outside of the box a little bit. You can create this by hand and take pictures also, so that's up to you. Um, but you are going to represent the novel, the novel as a whole. So characters, the main events, turning points, themes, all of that stuff can be included in this collage somehow. So make sure you try to be creative. And again, you have this one page double spaced explaining how all of these things relate back to the novel. Okay. And I did put the warning there. This isn't a choice that a lot of people pick. It seems easy. Um, just if you choose this one, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you put more effort into it than just a couple of pictures. Okay. Um, E is another one that people choose a lot, and I like this one. This is creating a soundtrack. If this if this book was a movie, which they did make a movie of it, but it's completely different. Those of you who watch it know that. But to create a soundtrack, so it says you have to come up with 10 songs and where they would fit in the book. And I said page number is required. Now I know some of you read that electronically, so if you don't have the page number, that's okay. Just if you don't have the page number, give me a description. This is the scene where guy is being chased down in a car by teenagers, right? So I know what you're talking about. Be descriptive. So this can just be a list. You're going to give me 10 songs. What's happening when that song would be playing? Okay. And then it says to create an album cover that would go with it. Now, I really love this, and people have done amazing, amazing soundtracks before, but don't just pick songs that have the word fire or burn in them. That's what a lot of people do. For example, one of the books or one of the songs that people pick every single time is That Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys, or This Girl's on Fire. Um, and I'm going to caution you against that song, because what people do is they always put that song at the scene where the woman burns herself with the book. Now, if you listen to the words of the song, it doesn't fit. Yes, she is literally on fire, but the lyrics to the song are not about her literally burning. It's about her like excelling and doing amazing. She's like on fire metaphorically. Okay, so pay attention to what the words mean. Don't just throw a song in there because it has the word fire with it. Okay, but this is a cool assignment, so a lot of people do a really good job with that. And then F, for those of you who just want to write, maybe do a little research. There are a lot of allusions to other literary works, for example, Shakespeare, fairy tales. We talked about the one to Gulliver's Travels. We've talked about biblical images. So any of these quotes that come from literature, include page numbers if you can, explain how that quote relates to the novel. So for example, we talked about the Revelations quote at the very end, and why Ray Bradbury might have chosen that quote to go where it is in the book. So um, you need to explain those four quotes and why you think that he chose them, and then put in an illustration with it. Now, an illustration can be a picture that you find, but doesn't mean you have to create it. I just want like if the four quotes with a visual image to go with it that you can Google image those. Um, in your explanation. Okay. And then lastly, if you have an idea that I didn't mention, I know somebody sent me an idea about what books would we burn today. If you can write up an idea that I didn't go over that you think would be really cool, you may do that. Just email me as soon as you can and ask for approval, and then I'll talk you through what you might need to add to it to make it a little bit better. Okay. All of this is due Friday, by midnight. If you're working with a partner, you need to let me know today. So hopefully that helped. Just hearing what I have to say about these things, giving you a couple cautions. And then if you have any questions, obviously email me. If you want to Zoom about this, if you find yourself in the spot where you're like, I just want to know that this is okay, or I have some questions, then shoot me an email and we'll set up a Zoom session on Wednesday. Okay, thanks.